News Edition. I'm Fabian Nyonizige here at Top Stories. The President of the Republic, Evariste Ndayishimiye, declared that God has provided Burundi with everything it needs to achieve development. He made this statement this Sunday while joining believers of the Israeli Church during the closing of Match Day course dedicated to praying for Africa. The Burundian ombudsman met on a Friday with cross-border traders in Haramirundi area of Butanyerera province as a part of a discussion aiming at strengthening peace through cross-border trade in the Great Lakes region. Welcome once more. Those are the headline details now. President Evariste Ndayishimiye declared that God has provided Burundi with everything it needs to achieve development. He made this statement this Sunday while joining believers of the Israel Church during the closing of Match Day class dedicated to praying for Africa. Details.
This Sunday, a major prayer event was organized for African continent by Apostle Vitanzo Baimana, who is the leader of Israel Church Burundi. In this prayer, the head of state Evariste Ndayishimiye, alongside his spouse Angela Ndayishimiye, joined the Christians from this congregation to participate in that prayer. Apostle Vitanzo Baimana called on believers to obey those in authority, saying that no leader exists without God's will. He went further by stating that it is God who appoints rulers. On his turn, President Evariste Ndayishimiye stated that Burundi is no longer what it used to be. It is changing, he explained. He added that the country is moving towards a Burundi that is continuously transforming day by day. He highlighted that Burundians are heading to a sustainable development and that they are arriving in a country of honey and milk. He congratulated readers for setting the theme of that event, which was Africa of Miracles, and said that a theme may also be attributed to Burundi, and one can say Burundi of Miracles. He also emphasized that those miracles must be justified by works and obvious results. President Evariste Ndayishimiye said, Burundi is a beautiful country as it is rich in minerals and water resources and so forth, and urged Christians to believe in what God promised for he accomplished his covenant. He concluded that the very important capital that Burundians have are peace and security that are prevailing. He called everyone to avoid lamentation so as to be successful in works and reach sustainable development. At the end of the prayer, Apostle Vitanzo Baimana donated an acknowledgement gift to the President of the Republic of Burundi.
Thanks. That was Jack Soirakoze reporting. The Burundian ombudsman met this Friday with cross-border traders in Maramirundi locality in Butanyerera province as a part of discussions aimed at strengthening peace through cross-border trade in the Great Lakes region. During this meeting, Mayor Lantine Kanyana urged the traders to maintain peace and security while also encouraging them not to be distracted by rumors. Details with LC Kamkama.
The discussions organized by the Ombudsman Office with transporters businessmen via Mpaka Shamba Light project this Friday with Burundian Ombudsman Emile Lantine Kanyana has met with Kanyana transporters businessmen in the Burundi sector in Butanyerera province. The latter have expressed their gratitude for the training they have got by Alert International, a training that has reinforced the social cohesion and that now many households live in harmony. They also appreciated that the population now live in peace without discrimination. However, they raised different problems that they encountered, such as the lack of electric desk for the necessary electricity access, an excessive number of barriers that reduces the profit. For that, the Ombudsman has reassured them that very soon an electric desk will be available in the administration. She urged them to settle well to collect taxes to the local population. She has called on them to preserve peace and security and to avoid rumors that the Mpaka Shamba project is implemented by Alert International, and the aim is to reinforce peace via transporters business in Great Lakes region.
The establishment of a framework regulating forensic science is deemed necessary to collect evidence of crimes committed against the individuals so that the alleged perpetrators of these crimes can be brought to justice. This recommendation was made by this Friday during a legal cafe organized in Bujumbura by Safe Law Legal Clinic. Jivan Ndaishimiye for more details.
This legal cafe was organized by the Clinique Juridique Safe Law, an organization whose mission is to assist and protect survivors by supporting them throughout judicial procedures so that perpetrators can be brought to justice. The main objective of this legal cafe was to analyze the need to establish a legal framework authorizing the use of modern technologies in the collection of judicial evidence, particularly in cases of rape, murder, and other serious crimes. Such a law would make it possible to obtain reliable evidence so that the accused can be judged fairly and so that experts can work freely without fear of potential prosecution, since these practices must be regulated by law. Gamariye Muhunda, advocacy officer at the Safe Law, explained that, for example, when doctor performs an autopsy or when DNA tests are carried out, it is essential that these acts must be regulated and conducted with legal. Joyeuse Zeimana, the legal representative of the Clinique Juridique Safe Law, noted that this initiative also aims to support the state's efforts in promoting human rights. According to her, this legal framework will help strengthen the rule of law in Burundi. Anosiate Muhuru, who represented the Ministry of Justice during this event, emphasized that this legal framework is essential to enable human rights professionals to correct, analyze, and interpret all evidence in a reliable and rigorous manner. Participants in this legal cafe called for this legal framework to be adopted. Should be noted that this event brought together doctors, security officers, justice professionals, and many others.
This Friday, the administrator of Mukaza Commune, Harine Bigirimana, held a meeting with residents of Buiza Zone to exchange and share ideas. She called on the local authorities and the population to give great importance of hygiene and sanitation. Details.
This meeting, organized by the administrator of Mukaza Commune, Harine Bigirimana, for residents of the Buiza Zone, aimed to discuss the community's concerns and exchange ideas on how to address them. Among the issues raised were unfinished paved roads, football fields, and the schools in need of renovation, as well as the need to expand the health center. Harine Bigirimana urged the residents of Buiza Zone to pay their taxes and fees properly, emphasizing that it is from these contributions that the government obtains the resources needed to build public infrastructures and carry out other initiatives. She also encouraged local leaders to remain vigilant in maintaining peace and security, notably by ensuring that each household has a household register. Faced with the threat of a cholera outbreak, she called for cleanliness and sanitation at all levels. It is worth noting that Buiza Zone is the fourth visited by the administrator of Mukaza Commune.
The week dedicated to tourism, organized by the Ministry of Tourism and its partners, conclude this Friday. On this occasion, Pacific Shimirimana, assistant to the Minister of Tourism, stated that Burundi is a treasure trove of wonders still unknown to the world, and that tourism sector must be promoted through tourist attractions so that country can benefit. Details.
It is a panel that ended the Tourism Week that was organized for celebrating the Tourism International Day The panelists have explained the potential that Burundi holds in different places if ever that sector was developed. The assistant to the Minister of Tourism has recalled the Burundians and the foreigners that Burundi still have unknown places such as the natural forest of Kibira, Rusizi, Tanganyika Lake, the second long lake in the world, the Nile source, dramas, and the good hospitality of Burundians. Note that in celebrating that day, some societies were also there, so to highlight the everyday works such as visa travel and tours, fantastic travel tours that has brought tourists to new vans for tourist tour.
Well, end of this news edition. Thank you for being with us. Keep watching our programs. Bye bye.